Hey, hey, over here. I'm in Japan. And this is a story of a girl who had an adventure plan. But then it rained all day, so she talked to her imaginary friends with the camera about what was on her mind. I think that was pretty good, guys. So today is my last day in Tokyo for the first half of my trip. And I feel like there's so much to see here that I still have not seen, even though I have still seen a couple of things that will be linked in the description box below, so click on them immediately. But I feel like there's still so much exploration to be done. So let's go put my stuff in storage and go on an adventure, babe. So my mom was asking me if Japan is expensive, and I'll say that the most expensive part so far of like everything that I've been doing has been the accommodation. I don't know if it's more expensive or it's cheaper, because this isn't like the most expensive place that I have been in personally in terms of like my spending habits and everything like that I budgeted for this trip. Like I've been good. Let me know if you're interested in like a total Japan breakdown of the prices and everything, and I can do a whole video about that. But like so far so good. I really recommend this country, like at least for like Tokyo. If you can foot the bill of the flights, which was expensive, book early, and accommodation. I would say that even the accommodation option that I went for a hotel, right? I would go for a hotel with somebody else. You know what I mean? So like next time I'm coming to Japan, I'll make sure I'm not coming alone, so that I can get a place with somebody else, so that like we're sharing the cost of like a hotel room or something like that. And it's very interesting because you would think that being in, and I hope I'm getting this word correctly, like listen, you would think that being in a homogeneous society where everybody's like similar and not a lot of people look like me actually, like maybe I see like 5 black people any, if not less, you know what I mean? But you would think that being in this space, like everybody's like, oh my god, who? Like in England I get more stares than I get here. And I think it has something to do with the politeness of the culture and saying like not staring at people. The only people who have been staring but this happens everywhere in the world is children be staring. Like I was on a train and some child was just looking at me like this. And you know, at a point, you kind of like, you look away and then you look back and they are still staring. Why? Auntie, why? Auntie, why? So anyway, as we are sitting here on the rainy day in Tokyo, I am loving this experience. I had a very interesting conversation with my friends yesterday. A very hard conversation, but regardless, a very interesting conversation that has like prompted a bigger conversation of like just looking inwardly and discovering. Oh my god, I feel like every freaking week on this channel I'm telling you about how I need to get my life in order. Actually, life, you're gonna mess up bad. Bad. Sometimes you be the villain. Yeah, I was walking around. I've been watching Once Upon a Time as well. Yeah, I was walking around thinking I'm Snow White. In fact, that's why I picked this. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I picked this wine. I picked this beer. This beer is called Snow Blanche. And the reason this is really funny is because in Once Upon a Time, the Snow White's last name is Blanchard. It's Mary Margaret Blanchard or something like that. So that is why I picked this. But the reason I brought this up was because only to say that I've been walking around here thinking I was Snow White. And it's interesting because in Once Upon a Time, where I am right now, the heroes are the villains and the villains are the heroes. And it's just been a very... I'm like, damn, so I'm a problem too? Damn, like, what do we do from here? Where do we go from here? And let me know in the comment section down below, what have been your toxic moments? And what have you done when you realized that you were the problem? I need adulting advice, especially for the older crowd. And some of you, my aunties and my uncles, you have been watching my videos. When you finish, you're going to tell my mommy that, like, hey, so if I tell you a secret, so you can tell my mom. Meanwhile, I send like the links to my YouTube videos to like my family group chat. So like regardless, my family members are gonna be seeing my videos. But like, obviously, so do my aunties and my uncles, who proceed to send my videos to my mommy. And it's very interesting because you see that happening all the time when people are like outwardly troublesome. And so like, so it becomes like a form of snitching. But like, I'm not troublesome. I'm just a regular person. I guess it's a good, interesting like topic point. I don't know. Maybe I'll have my mom come on my channel to talk about parenting. I actually might do that on a Silly Chats episode. I actually do have that lined up to have my mom come in. So let me know if you have any questions from my sweet mother in the comment section down below. But to get to the point, back to what do you do when you are the problem? I really want to know. Because I was just sitting this whole morning and the whole of last night, and I was just like, oh my god, I hate this so much. Because there was a podcast episode, something along the lines of like the mistakes that they've made as leaders, and like, see, they're pastors as well, so it enters like a wider conversation that they were having about like church heads and like stewarding and blah blah blah, leadership essentially. But basically they were talking about their mess ups, and like I just listened to it and I was like, oh, okay. Like I said, I'm glad they've learned from their mistakes, you know what I mean? I'm glad they've learned from their mistakes. And then like but then like obviously like that's why you make mistakes, to be able to learn. But like, how do you disassociate the fact that like you make mistakes and you learn from the fact that like you're supposed to, like, the pain that's attached to that? Like, does that make sense? And it's so interesting because I think that this opens a wider conversation for me of why, and I say this all the time, life is not binary, and then I be looking at life in very simple black and white terms, which is very interesting, because then I think adulting is realizing that life is a little bit more complicated than good and bad. That life is a little bit of yin and yang. Ooh, bars. Yin and yang, from what I know, and I hope I'm not butchering this yet again, but is the idea essentially, these are the symbols, and the idea that there's good and bad and there's bad and good. So you have the little dots in the white, and you have the little black dots in the white and the little white dot in the black. And yeah, I think so. I'd be very interested. Like I am like putting this point to you guys, to let me know in the comment section down below what that looks like. To like, yeah, how do you know that you're the problem and then move forward with that? How do you know that you're the problem? People who can look back at it in hindsight of like being the toxic ex, or like being the toxic friend, or like being the problem. How did you move past that? Did you sever the friendship? What was that process of like reconciliation and like change, and then actively changing? Like, what did that look like? I want to know. And let me know in the comments, just in case like anybody else is also going through this as well. Maybe if it gets easier in your 30s, because I've had a lot of people in their 30s talking about how it gets easier. But anyway, Charlie, I'm really talking. I've decided that tell me why the silly chat is supposed to be silly, and all of a sudden I'm in my deep era, so life has to be deep. And it's just like, okay, I just want to laugh. Maybe I should try stand-up comedy so that I can get over my fear of rejection. Maybe I should do that. That's a different aspect of my life that I want to be able to build up on, my comedy, because I'm funny. So yeah, imagine all that work and then it wasn't filming. I just might be a black Bill Gates in the making. So watch this space.